I need to try and answer it. And don't worry about being recorded. There's literally on Facebook and YouTube, there's 500 of these recordings. They're all maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but they're basically a reference for anyone that studies this. You know, if you have questions, you can really go there and probably get answers. You know, any time of the day. This is like these things are up streaming 24 hours a day. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart.
Risha, I can't.
I know I turned on the lights this time, but they're obviously not.
Anyway, figure it out, please.
I will.
Love your
I'm
voice.
gonna have to sit right under one next time, I realize.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Um, um, not to sort of be therapeutic or anything, but I've been experiencing a lot of panic attacks in the last few days, and it's like content from early in life or whatever. And I just wondered if you had any advice of how to navigate when there are feelings that come up that are just feel overwhelming or feel too challenging, and it's hard to.
No, they're not too challenging, Lisa. You know, these feelings come up, and we all get them. They come up to remind us that we haven't arrived yet. We have work to do on ourselves. We have to grow. And I wouldn't really see them as a negative thing, you know? I would see them as a higher force in the universe telling you, you know, you're still clinging to things that happened to you years ago inside yourself. And those things, you know, could cripple you. You better get stronger inside yourself. If you look at them as negative, then, you know, it's terrible how that stuff can cripple people emotionally, mentally. But if you see them as just a signal on the path, you got to go deeper. You've got to get stronger. Well, this is what you're going to have the rest of your life. You know, these, whatever they, you know, I mean, all these emotional things that we have repressed inside us that come forward and cripple us as people. So I would, you know, look, there's a lot of ways of looking at this. And I know sometimes these things are very painful and we kind of shudder at the kinds of things we have done in life that come back to remind us, you know, of what we once were. But I don't see those things as negative if they happen to me. I see them, Stuart, you got work still to do on yourself. And I have it all the time. I mean, people get in touch with me. If somebody got in touch with me the other day, I haven't seen in 60 years. And it's really, I mean, it's older than most of you, you know? and then I, you know, let that energy go. And I just sent them a very beautiful text, thanking them for having put up with me when I was 22 years old, you know, 20 years old. And, you know, I mean, it's just, I've learned how to deal with all this stuff instead of allowing it to cripple me because something I went through was very dramatic and people got hurt, et cetera, et cetera. But I just sent an email out thanking them for putting up with crazy Stuart when he was in his early 20s, you know? So we have to be smart enough to trick ourselves. We really do, you know? And to just discover that whatever takes place in our life is something positive, something we can use to grow, something that is coming to us as a reminder that we have not attained spiritual enlightenment yet. We're all children of God, but between, you know, the purity of that state and where people are, you know, there's a lot of work that we have to do on ourselves. And then those things stop bothering you. You know how to deal with them. You know how to use them to grow in your life. And you don't welcome them because they can be painful, but when they come, you know. I mean, when I used to go up that mountain to where the airplane crash was to do a meditation once a year, there were markers on how to get up there. The path you're taking, there were blue markers that, told you we were on the right path that leads to that place where the accident happened. Those experiences that you just mentioned to me are the same. They're the markers telling you you've got to truly work on yourself and grow.
Thank you. That's so helpful. So that I can trust in love and
Yes.
God.
It's like signals from higher energy. You haven't arrived yet. It's okay that you haven't arrived yet, but you've got to do the work. And once you build a system inside that's strong enough, these things don't bother you anymore. You become conscious of how to deal with them. So they're no longer, they don't create pain inside you. Okay, I gotta do the work. And often the answers take seconds. You don't have to waste a lot of time. It's like when I got that email from that person, it took me seconds to just reply the way I did, thanking her for putting up with me when I was really a nut. I mean, it was just, it was a crazy young kid. And it opened my heart. And I hope it opened her heart, I probably will never see this person again in my life, but that's all right. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
Yesterday, I experienced anger, witnessing stupidity that could have caused harm. And it was so upsetting to me. I had to remove myself from the situation, but the anger still stayed inside of me. Can you talk about, because I was feeling how the anger was harming me. Can you talk about how to deal with that, please?
I mean, I don't know what the situation was, why you were angry. What was the situation?
People were by the surf in very, angry waters. The water was very turned up with the child, and they were told not to be there, and they stayed there. And I was very concerned, but these people weren't listening, and I had to remove myself because there was nothing I could do.
Now, there is nothing you can do. You go down and say something, you'll be in a fight with them. Go on you, I mean, it's their karma. Why get wrapped up in their karma? Why allow yourself to get swept away into somebody else's stupidity and craziness? And if you do go down and say, they probably will start throwing stones at you, So again, it's the same answer as Lisha, You need to be strong enough not to allow other people's karma to sweep your emotions and mental state away. It's their lives. It's what they have chosen to do with their lives. And you can only help people when they come to receive help. It's like, people like this meditation, somebody leaves, they leave. I don't chase them. I wish them a wonderful life. I can't help people that don't come and want to be helped. And people that don't work on themselves, they can't be helped. So I learned that many, many years ago, and it certainly has kept me from getting involved in a lot of crap in this world, you know? It's like you look at the politics and all the stuff that goes on, you know, what can you do? You can't help people that don't work. And you look at all those politicians and the people, they all look like they're 80% dead inside them. You're like just dried up people working on tension and mind. And every one of those people can be helped, but they have to make the effort. I mean, when I met Rudy, if I didn't make the effort to attend this class, there's nothing he could have done for me. So the need has to be real for spiritual life, to get one's life together, and then you got to do something. And you getting swept away in their karma is just a sign that you need to work on yourself. You need help. Otherwise, I mean, I remember sitting in Varanasi. I don't know if you know that place in India where they have these, you know, they have these funeral pyres that are right out in front of you, you know, and they're burning bodies there with priests. And I mean, and I was sitting there watching this. It was so unbelievable to watch this with cows and children and kids diving into the Ganges while they're burning bodies and priests. I mean, it was like something like totally beyond anything and I had to just sit there and get centered to keep from getting swept away in it. It wasn't my culture. It wasn't my life. It's the life of these people. And when I finally did that, sitting there in Varanasi on one of the ghats and watching this, it made me grow so profoundly in myself that I can sit there and I can open and witness other people's cultures, not judge it, and just open to it and let it teach me something about myself.
Thank you, Stuart. That helps so much. I knew that feeling of anger was, I said, I need to learn something from this. Thank you.
Yeah. Never forget sitting at the Ganges. I've done it many times. You know, I've been in Varanasi, I don't know, 15 times. And I always go to the ghats there. It's something unbelievable. It's like totally surreal. There's nothing I've ever seen in the West that ever gets close to it. It's so unbelievable, you know? But it was not my culture, and I couldn't get swept away in it. I could just sit there open and allow the energy of what was going on to teach me something about how to get closer to God. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart,
Yes.
got a question about energy.
It's 2 o'clock.
But the heart, in fact, after open eyes, it's quite easy to open up the heart chakra to some extent.
Yes.
As my question is this, the energy during open eyes is from a different, well, it feels more subtle, more, seems like it's the exact fuel to open up the chakra.
The same energy, you know, Chris, but it's what is making this work the way you're talking is the fact that you're not only just sitting, opening your eyes, you're doing an inner exercise to develop the chakra system. The chakra system gets stronger in you, your experiences go deeper. And that's what this meditation is about. You know, it's building the chakra. And when the eyes are open, what transmits through me, the Shakti, the energy, you know, goes into you through the eyes. And it goes into your chakra system and helps to develop the chakra system.
Okay, but Stuart, okay. But after a few days, if I want to open up the heart, all of a sudden, it isn't that easy anymore.
Well, it's the same answer. You got to work on yourself.
Okay.
To get, I mean, look, the quickest way to open your heart is just gratitude. Just feeling gratitude. You know, that will instantly open your heart. You don't have to be doing this meditation, just feel gratitude. It will open your heart. And that gratitude, you know, it not only opens the heart, it allows one to receive the Shakti, as the Shakti flows in this meditation class. And when the heart opens, all that tension in the head, all that thinking and daydreaming, and it has a way to flow down. So it goes into the chakra below the navel, and then it creates chi, it creates power inside you, foundation, rootedness inside you. All this is based on learning how to develop the chakra system. That takes time. It's not something, you know, I mean, this is a job, you know, it takes time, but I don't see, you know, I mean, why not? I mean, what the alternative is living with this kind of atrophied system inside that doesn't develop. So I think we all owe that to ourselves. And the miracle of this is that this exists, this kind of class exists, where a person can do this. And they can truly develop that kind of system. And then each of us is unique. It's not gonna, you're not gonna live your life the way I lived and lived my life. Everybody is unique, but you know, but it'll give you a connection with higher energy that will guide your unique life. And I think that's wonderful, you know? I mean, it's something very important, the uniqueness of each individual. And your uniqueness truly enables me and forces me to work really deep on myself because everybody's different. Everybody has different blocks, different tensions, different, you know, ways of opening. And that it forces me to really go deep inside to make the connection with everybody sitting here.
Okay, thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Really, it's really good. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, one question I always ask, and I still ask, does it work? That's my only consideration. It's very practical about this meditation. Does it work? Does it help me to grow? Is it making me a better human being? Is it, you know, getting me less crazy inside? I mean, that's the only consideration. If it doesn't work, nobody should do it. But if it does work, all I'm asking is to do it. Do it in a deep and a profound way. Make a commitment to it. And every day, practice it. You know, use a picture when we don't have class. Does anyone else have a question? And it's not fanatical. You know, it's not a cult. It's not a ashram. It's, you don't have to join anything here. You know, it's something that basically, what do? It's 3 hours a week. We have these classes. And all of us can benefit in a very profound way from them. I mean, I've run ashrams. I refuse to do them anymore. I stopped doing it in the early 1980s because I discovered people go to ashrams to hide out from the world. And to me, if you're eliminating the world, you're eliminating a lot of God. Everything in life is sacred. It's like William Blake wrote, everything that lives is holy. You know, and this is a profound truth. And one shouldn't create circumstances that keep them from experiencing the totality of life. It's all sacred. The greatest temple is life. Not the ashram, the synagogue, the mosque, the church. It's life itself is the greatest temple. And every aspect of it is there to teach us something about what we have to learn to grow. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you, bless you all, and I'm very grateful to be here. All of you are my teacher. I don't consider myself a guru. I'm here to learn. God bless you all. And there'll be a class on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.